Right, so what we're ready to do now is we're ready to light our fire, and then we're going to cook some bits and pieces. So first of all, we're going to light this fire, show you that we can get a fire going, keep it going for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll start cooking on it. Get some embers in the bottom that we've got to work with. So we're not doing it outside on the ground, we're doing it off the ground. Our altar fire is up on legs. That's purely because we're not in an environment where we can do a ground fire. If you wanted to do it on the ground, we'll go through how you set up a ground-based fire later on. But what we've got here is we're well away from anything combustible, so we've not got any trees above us, we've not got any shelter above us. We're well away from where other people are working. Again, we're in a secure garden, so there's nobody can wander in. So what we'll do is I'll move the camera and I'll explain how we've got the fire set up, and then a little bit about what some of the materials that we're going to be using for our fire. So to start off with, what we've got is we've got a fire lay that is raised up off the ground, raised up off the bed of the altar fire. So we've got these sticks along here and across here. What that does is that provides oxygen underneath the fire, so it's getting it from every angle. In the middle there, we've got some cotton wool that has got Vaseline in it. Cotton wool is our tinder. The Vaseline, it just means that our fire will burn a little bit longer off that tinder. We've then got our kindling, which is our brash that we cut earlier. That'll go on top. We've then got some thicker sticks, which are about 1 to 2 centimetres. We've then got our offcuts from making our mallet, and then as well we've got some pre-dried shop kindling, just in case. They call it kindling, it's more just construction timber that's been broken down. So what we're going to use to light our fire is our fire wand. So it's a ferro rod striker, got the wooden handle on it, so it's easy to grip. We've got our metal tab, and in between we've got our lanyard so we can keep it round our neck so we don't lose it. But basically, I'll show you, it creates a spark. Now that gets up to about 3,000 degrees, so that's plenty to light our cotton wool here. So we've now lit our cotton wool. Our cotton wool's now lit. Got our Vaseline in there, and what we're going to do is we're going to place on top our brash. And that should start to burn down. We'll start to hear a little pop and crack, and that's basically the final bit of moisture being driven out of that brash. What we can also do is put on some of our thinner pieces of construction timber, because this is wood that has been dried even more than this brash has, and so will burn even easier. But we're trying to recycle the wood that we would find around us. Right, so we're just waiting for our brash and our construction timber to really catch, and then we'll add on some of these thicker pieces. So as you can probably see, our brash and our construction timber started to catch light now. It's also good to have some water nearby, sufficient to extinguish your fire, so, or sand or something like that. Now, just out of shot, I've got the garden hose and a big bucket of water. So should anything go wrong, should this fire get too big, should it get out of the altar fire, I can always throw my bucket of water onto it. So what we're going to do, we're just going to start adding on our large pieces of wood. You might also be able to tell from the smoke that the wind is actually blowing that way across us, and a little bit behind, but mainly that way across us. So what we've actually got is we've got holes in the end of the altar fire, and that allows the wind to blow through, and actually that way we get the full effect of the wind, which helps aid our fire. And now that our large piece of wood has started to catch, we'll now add on our pieces that we split off our mallet before. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wait for that to all settle down and form embers. So just while we're waiting for this fire to bed down, there's different types of strikers out there, so I'll bring fire one a bit closer. So our fire one, basically we've got the ferro rod striker, and we've got the handle, we've got a lanyard, and we've got our metal tab. Those variations. This one has a really good size handle on it. It allows us to get a decent grip of it. Some of the little tab ones, we're just holding a tiny little tab. Okay, it's not great if you've got gloves on or anything like that. These ones, if you're working in winter and you've got a big pair of winter gloves on, you're trying to light a fire, they're not great. So that allows us then to work with gloves on. These tabs are great. They get a really good spark again. Get a really large spark. and it helps us get a decent flame. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more of our offcuts on. Now we can start to feel some heat coming up from the fire. It's still not massively high, the heat on this, but as we add more of this wood on, it'll build up embers and it'll give us something to work with when we're cooking in a bit. So on the menu today is what we're going to do is we're going to bake some damper bread. There's loads of different names for it. There's bannock bread, damper bread. The damper bread is the Australian name for it. Bannock bread is a Scottish name for it. It's a very simple flour and water dough, and we're going to cook that in a frying pan. It's not fried, it's actually baked, but the frying pan creates a good heating surface for us. We're going to boil up some eggs. Also, because I'm thinking about my 5 a day, we're going to do some steamed veggies as well with that. So, and then afterwards, what we'll do is we'll crack open the popcorn maker and we'll get some popcorn made. Okay, so we'll let this bed down a bit more, and then what we'll do is we'll move on to our cooking section.